So this week, for some reason, I was actually able to go to the movies and not only go to the movies, but also see quite a few movies. And in going to the movies, it kind of triggered that because I saw 28 Years Later. And 28 Years Later is the sequel to 28 Weeks Later, which is the sequel to 28 Days Later. So in going to see the newest one, then I rewatched the original and then subsequently checked out, I guess, the middle one. So I don't know. Have you guys seen 28 Days Later?
Yeah, whenever it came out.
One
time in the theater.
One time in the theater. I saw it twice in the theater because the first time I saw it, I was like, holy shit, I got to bring somebody to see this. So I brought my girlfriend at the time, and then I got it on DVD and I watched it a bunch. And then it just kind of like, faded into the background. And then the sequel came along 28 Weeks Later, and I saw that once on DVD when it came out. And then I rewatched it just, this week, and holy shit, it was not good. like it was.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah, it was really, really not good. It was such a juxtaposition from the original, because the original really does kind of kick ass in a number of different ways. It's a good story. It's well made. The acting is great. It's Naomi Harris. It's Cillian Murphy. It's Brendan Gleeson. Like, that movie is rock solid. And Danny Boyle, that's where he kind of came back into my life after Trainspotting, because I didn't see A Life Less Ordinary or The Beach, but when 28 Days Later came around, it's like, oh, this is dude who made Trainspotting, sweet. And then we were like off to the races. And he did 28 Years Later as well, but he did not do 28 Weeks Later. He was only an executive producer on that film. And that's, I think, a big part of it. The story just was not there for that one. But 28 Years Later, it really kind of came back around. It was very well made. There's some beautiful shots. And I don't know if you guys know this, but that entire movie was shot with the iPhone 15 Pro Max. So the whole thing was shot like with smartphones.
Impressive.
I saw a little, video with Danny Boyle talking about it. It's like, because they wanted to like keep the energy, and they didn't want to have a lot of setups, because the original film 28 Days Later was also filmed with like high-end consumer professional cameras. Like, it's all done on like mini DV tapes, the original film, which is why the quality is so poor, but it adds that kind of almost found footage element to it in like and they utilize it in a very like aesthetic kind of a way. And it works for what it is, but it, when you look back at the movie, it's like, man, this doesn't look that good, because it's shot, pretty much in standard definition.
Yeah.
But the new one, 28 Years Later, it was really good. I was like kind of pleasantly surprised all around. There was good tension. The performances were really good. And just when it started to kind of be like, oh, what's going on here? It shifts into like another like aspect of the story that you're not really expecting, and they sell it as this like action adventure horror survival film with these creatures, the infected, because they're not really zombies, but they're like zombies.
Yeah,
but really it's kind of a hard drama. Like, it has this hard drama undercurrent about this family, and specifically like the main character, he's a little boy named Spike, and his relationship with both of his parents. Just how the circumstances of their situation affect their relationships is really pretty neat, how they were able to like maintain that throughout this chaos. And I mean, I don't think it's a big spoiler or anything, but Ralph Fiennes is in the movie. If you've seen the cast list, he's in it, and He does not disappoint. He kind of skyrocketed the movie for me personally. Like, I was watching this, this is pretty good. And then he shows up and like, this movie's fucking awesome. Because he's awesome, and I was thinking about it. It's like, holy shit, he's in this movie. He's in all kinds of stuff. He just turns up here, there, everywhere. And it's like, people always talk about Daniel Day-Lewis and Gary Oldman, and I'm going to throw Ralph Fiennes up there as like number 3 for like great actors. Cause he just has this like ridiculous range and this like inherent sincerity, but he can also really go to dark places, like Francis Dollarhide. And
one of my favorites.
I don't know if you've seen In Bruges yet, but he's, pretty sinister in that. And of course, Voldemort. So He's a yeah, I love that dude. So for me, and I know Anne, you talked about him when you watched Conclave a
Yeah,
couple of months ago, and
great performance again. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So if for no other reason, I gotta say, 28 years later is totally worth watching, if only for Ray Fiennes, but not only because of Ray Fiennes.
All right.
But stay away from 28 weeks later. Honestly, that movie's bullshit. Don't even fucking try to waste your time.
I was gonna
Just
say,
go.
do you have to see, or can you
No,
just watch 1 and 3 and skip?
you can watch 1 and 3, 100%.
Okay. Okay. Good to know.
100%. And they're making a new trilogy, with this one being the first. And then allegedly Cillian Murphy is supposed to be coming back into the series as well,
Nice.
which will be interesting given the circumstances of the first and second movies.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was curious because I remember really liking the first one when I saw it in the theater, and then for some reason, like you said, it kind of just fell off into obscurity. I never bought it, and I heard it's like hard to find now, like a copy of it.
Really?
So yeah, I don't know if that's changed now with the release
It
of the
w-
new one.
it was not streaming anywhere that I could find, but fortunately I have the DVD, so we're locked in.
There you go. See, physical media wins again.
So this week I went to see The Life of Jack by Mike Flanagan. I knew this director thanks to you, Pete, during the Shocktober, last Shocktober. Oculus, the name of the movie.
Yeah.
It was a very good one. So, The Life of Chuck, I didn't know what to expect because, to be frank with you, I don't know if it's the same in the US, but in France, nobody talked about it when it came out. And it's because of the word of mouth that it's starting to be known. But yeah, the beginning of it wasn't such a success. Nobody really talked about it. So I thought, okay, let's have an experience, a cinematic experience, and and actually, it was a very good one. It's a mind blowing experience to me. Really, maybe it's one of my favorite movies of all time now. So
Oh,
really, oh yeah. It changed your life really. So I cannot tell you a lot about it because it's the kind of movies you kind of confused all along, and you have the big revelation at the end.
Mm.
What I can say, it's based on a short story of Stephen King,
Yeah.
but it's not really a Stephen King story in the term that it's not a horror movie. It's a strange story, as you can understand. So it's really like King's habits. But it's beautiful. It's about memory, mortality, and the meaning of life. I would say that, and it's a man's story told in 3 acts. And when you watch them, you don't think each act is correlated to the other one, but as I said at the end, it makes sense. And you have fantastic actors. I don't know all of them, but 3 are famous. So you have Tom Hiddleston. He's doing a great performance, and especially there is a dance scene. I think it's in the trailer, so maybe you can watch it. But a fantastic dance scene, really. You have Mark Hamill.
Mm-hmm.
So he's doing the grandfather of Chuck, and he's touching, he's mysterious, and he's grumpy at the same time. So it's really a character. It's a really good one. And you have Matthew Lillard. I don't know if you know about him.
Matthew Lillard, of course.
Yeah, and the same. He has because is the guy a bit confused in life. So we used to see him that way. I mean, I used to see him in other movies like that way, but he seems so overwhelmed by what's happening in the film. I cannot tell you much, but really, it's a really great performance. Anyway, so you have to watch it. I really recommended it. I don't know if you heard about this movie. I don't know
mhm.
the yeah, it's okay. People talk about it in America. It's a good thing because everybody should watch this movie. Really,
That's high praise.
yeah,
Yeah.
I loved it. Yeah,
Put it on the list. So speaking of high praise, I watched Sinners.
I've heard a lot of really good things from a lot of very different people about this particular film.
Same here, and it was a good movie. You know me in the hype train. When the hype train comes to town, I kind of take shelter. So this one was hyped
Yeah.
pretty big. I think two things that are hurting movies a lot lately are when you hear they got a 10-minute standing ovation, I can. Okay, that's one. Let's stop that. And the other one is, it debuted with 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Stop
Yeah.
those things, because, I was expecting the world, based on what I heard from this movie. And that's not to say it was a bad movie. It's not a bad movie at all. It just didn't deliver as far as the expectation of what was built up in my mind from people I knew, and then commercials, and you see all these reviews and how it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's a very good movie. Michael B. Jordan is awesome in this movie. He
Oh,
plays twin
I love
brothers.
this guy.
He really does an amazing job. I haven't seen a movie where I didn't like the guy. Even if the movie's okay, he's always great. The cinematography in this movie is gorgeous. There's some beautiful, beautiful shots in this movie. I think that the music is fantastic. Ludwig Göransson, who does Mandalorian and did
Mhm.
Oppenheimer, does a really good job in this movie. The effects are great. All the performances, really. There wasn't Delroy Lindo's in this movie, who's always awesome. Yeah, he
Whoa.
was really cool. So when he popped, I was like, oh, I sat up to attention. I was like, okay, now I want to see what's going on with this guy.
Yeah. Don't you love that, like, when you're watching a movie and, like, somebody just shows up and you're like, I think we
Yeah,
talked about this, like, another time. It's like, it's just those, like, those character actors, they just
yeah,
bring such flavor to a film.
yeah. Unfortunately, it reminded me of two other very specific movies that got mashed together and created this monster of.
I've heard that it's very reminiscent of Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight and From
Okay,
Dusk
yeah.
Till Dawn.
Yeah, well, for me, Demon Knight. I haven't watched that in 100 years, but yeah, I used to love Demon Knight. But now I could see, yeah, okay, so Demon Knight, 100%. As like 20 minutes, and I'm like, I think this is From Dusk Till Dawn.
Uh-huh.
It also had some Django Unchained vibes to it.
Mm.
And while I love both of those movies, and I see what they were doing with this movie, it could have took another trip through the editing room. You could have shaved off about 20 to 30 minutes off this thing, and it would have
Oh,
been just fine. You really wouldn't have lost anything.
yeah.
It's just a little too long. It's a very slow burn of a movie. You have to really stick with it.
You're
And
killing it, Steve.
well, this is me being honest. This is me
Yeah,
being
but
honest.
uh
It's a little.
But you
It's a
don't
little.
like slow movies, so maybe the
it's not even
slowliness is something important in the movie. No,
it's
I
not
don't know.
even slow. Like, that term slow burn to me just translates to, like, I don't know how to edit and I want a longer movie.
Ah,
So I'm just going to make a longer movie cuz I
maybe.
don't know how to edit,
Well,
Yeah.
I encourage
and
you to
that's
watch it,
that.
because I'd be very curious to hear your thoughts.
Oh, I'm totally going to watch it, but
Because
not for a while now.
every time I watch one of these movies that people are like, oh my god, it's the greatest thing since Jesus. I'm like, okay, and I go in and watch it, and I'm like, "Hey, when am I going to get that feeling that this
Yeah.
guy had?" And again, I said,
Yeah.
I did not like it, but I just thought, okay, that was good. That was good. Uh, yeah. The other criticism I have, I think it tried to tackle too many topics at once.
Mm.
It's like, we're
Mhm.
doing this kind of thing over here. Okay, got it. And then we're moving into this thing kind of over here, and then this thing, and then it kind of return to the king to me, like it was like an ending. Oh fuck, we're not
Oh.
done. Okay, oh, and then ending. Oh fuck, we're
Yeah.
not done. And then okay, I was like, all right, so it's a good movie. I don't think it's going to change your life. I went into it really hoping I'd have like a new favorite horror movie. It
Yeah.
just didn't quite do it for me. Maybe I'll watch it again in a couple of years, see if I feel differently.
All right. Well, speaking of life-changing movies, I just want to make sure everybody comes back next week for our podcast on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because that is something to behold. And those are the coming distractions for this week.